Hello everybody and welcome back to Horse Branch Sawmill. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. A little bit of mechanic work. My John Deere loader here having a hydraulic issue. It's been going on for about 2 weeks, but it's getting worse. That's why I'm taking the next couple days while it's rainy and messy out to try to fix it. I'll go into detail here what it was doing, because I'm sure somebody somewhere down the line is going to have this same problem. It had gotten to where when I would get in it and start it up, I would release the parking brake and I'd go do what I'm doing. It'd work fine. But it's like when it got hot, up to operating temperature, when I would cut it off, if I went right back within just a few minutes to start it back up, I wouldn't have no hydraulics. My parking brake would release and my pedals would be released. Most of the time, these John Deere have a hydraulic electrical problem. Everything would be locked up. No parking brake release, and your pedals right here for your lift and your bucket, they would be locked. Well, that's not the case. After it's hot, I get on it to go. I can release the brake. I can travel. I can tilt the bucket up and down. I can't raise it. And like I said, the pedals aren't locked, so those solenoids are fine. They're releasing, the pedals will work. However, when I go to raise the boom up, it puts a load on the engine. So fluid's not going where it's supposed to be going, in other words. It's like I'm picking up twice what it can pick up. It bogs the engine down. So that tells me something in the valve body right here is not letting the fluid go where it's going. So I'm gonna zoom in here. Right there is where I've tracked the problem to. It's a solenoid on the control valve. I've already been in there and took it off. I took it out and inspected it, and I'll try to insert a picture here, but it's cracked, it's busted. And I feel like whenever you first get on it first time during the day, it's cold and everything's fine. And once it gets up temperature, it's weak. It's lost its power. It works like a magnet. It pulls a plunger to let the fluid go where it needs to go. Whenever you flip the switch, it sends power down there and magnetizes it, and it pulls a plunger and lets the fluid go where it needs to go. But it's not doing that. I've got another one ordered. It should be here in about 2 days. Anybody that's had the problem, when you pull it off, if you're lucky enough, it'll still have the name on it and the part number, where you don't have to order it through John Deere. You can order it through, I think it's Danfoss, this hydraulic company, and you can save about $400 that way. So I'm gonna stop this video and I'll get down there a little bit closer and show you what I've done. Okay, so if I can get in here without knocking the camera over. I started by taking all the sheet metal out of the floorboard to get to it. Then I took this line right here off, 13/16 inch. Took it off just to be able to get in there to it. Unplugged the wiring harness. I checked it and it looks okay. Most times the varmints might get in there and chew it up. Take a 3/4 6-point socket and go right here and take your nut off the end of it. Then you can just twist that solenoid back and forth. Pull it off. And there you see the stem sticking out. And this is what magnetizes on that stem when it gets power. Right there, to magnetize, work that plunger in there and let the fluid go where it needs to go. I don't know how well I can make it show up. Oh, pretty good. It's busted right there. That's the seam where it's put together, or casted. There's another crack. There's another one. I looked inside of it and I thought I could see a crack inside of there. I don't know how well I can get it to show up here. But I'm hoping that's going to be my issue. I feel almost 100% positive that's the issue. I will make a follow-up video if it works or not. But right there, there's your numbers. Order it based off of that. Don't go through John Deere, because John Deere don't make that. They get it. They're marking it up way up. Like I said, I think it was $500 and some odd through John Deere, because I looked it up this morning. I ran those numbers there, and I come up with, I'm getting one in here for $94 delivered. Be here in 2 days. So I hope and pray that fixes the problem, because it has been aggravating. For instance, if I'm loading somebody's trailer, I'll set the 4x4s on the trailer, set the bundle of wood on there. Well, then, of course, most of them want to stop and talk about something, so I'll set my parking brake. Well, then I'll get through talking to them, I'll get back in my machine, take my parking brake off. Well, my loader won't work. And there I got another bundle to set on the trailer. So I have to wait till everything gets cooler to load it. Sometimes it's 10 minutes, sometimes it's 15. It's got a mind of its own. But any of you familiar with these 260, even the 240s, 250s, 260s, 270s, I think there's a 280 or 290 also. Any of you familiar with those know that they have a lot of electrical problems, which I wouldn't consider this being one of them. That's just common. I mean, this machine's 2003 model, so it's got some age on it. I wouldn't consider that being part of John Deere's electrical problem. But while I'm on the John Deere electrical problems, any of you out there ever run across one of these machines and you want to buy it, do not trust the hours that's on the meter, because I would say it's a 99.9% chance that instrument cluster with the hour meter has been changed, possibly several times. I think this machine's it's been changed 3 times. I changed it twice, and the cousin I bought it from, he changed it once. Like the panel that's on it now only shows 300 or 400 hours. And I know that's not right, but that's how many hours that particular panel has on it. The first one went out, I think he said he had this machine about a year when it went out. Then the next panel, it had 3,200 hours on it whenever I changed it. And then I changed it again since then. So 32, 33, 34. This machine's probably got 4,000 to 4,200 hours on it. And the instrument panel's only going to show a couple hundred. So don't, just be well aware of that. I mean, you can tell by looking at the machine how many hours you think it might have on it. If it shows a few hundred and the backside of the machine's beat up and the tires are slick and all the paint's wore off where you get in and out of it and the seat's tore up, yeah, the hours aren't right. So just be careful, be mindful of it. But other than that, whenever you get everything squared away, electrical wise on these machines, they are fine machines, very strong, perfect skid steer at a sawmill. They're heavy enough, got a pretty small footprint, but they're heavy enough they will lift a lot of wood. And strong as far as moving dirt. I mean, I don't do no dirt work, but I've done a little bit around here, and they're strong. I think this machine's about around 8,000 pounds or so. It's a very good machine. I'm tickled to death with it, but I tell you, these electrical problems, they'll make a preacher cuss. But I can't complain. It's served me well. But in a day after tomorrow, it's gonna be a new solenoid right there, and hopefully that'll fix my problem. I feel almost 100% sure it will. There's a few other odds and ends I need to do to it, like it needs a bath. It needs a good steam cleaning, and if I had parked it anywhere else to tear it down besides where I'm at, I could get my pressure washer to it and wash it out while everything's apart. But that'll have to be for another day. When that part comes in, it's gonna be the solenoid you see right there and the stem that it rides on. So I'm gonna have to take that out, and I have to grease up the O-rings and the backing seals and everything real good when I put it back in there so I don't cut any. But I'll wait 2 days to save $400. I mean, I could probably went to the John Deere dealer today and get it, but it ain't that pushing. It's gonna be rainy and messy, and I got other things I can be doing while I wait. The biggest part of this whole job was getting the sheet metal out. I got a piece that goes across here under the seat. The piece right there that goes under the seat. Then there's a floorboard right here. There's a piece across the very front where you got to pretty much start at the very front and work your way back to the seat just to get to that. So we'll see. I'll get it all put back together Wednesday, and well, it depends on what time the truck runs and brings my part. But I'll get it all back together. If by chance it don't fix it, we'll make some more video digging into it to see what the problem might be. So I think that'll be it for this one. I may go in the house while it's raining and upload this. But yeah, anybody that has any trouble with their John Deeres, or there's not a lot of information out there on them, because trust me, I've looked. Whenever I be broke down, I'm all over the internet trying to find out if anybody's had this problem. So the biggest problem is whenever that instrument panel goes out, it cripples the whole machine. It controls everything on here. And the last one I bought of those was $700 and some odd. So you don't want to have to purchase many of those. But hopefully this gets out there and helps somebody that has this problem. Like I said again, the pedals, it was unlocked. The pedals would move. I just didn't have any function. It's like whenever I would go to raise the boom up, it would just bog the engine down, like it was building pressure in there and wasn't letting the fluid go to the cylinders to raise it up and down. I'm no John Deere technician, but I was a heavy equipment mechanic for 17 years. And once you figure out the flow of hydraulics and where the fluid comes from and where it goes and how it gets back to the tank, you can track down a problem pretty easy. It's just hard to get to anything in a skid steer. But that's gonna be it. I'm gonna go in and work on this video and get it on there, maybe to help somebody out down the road in the next few years. Like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. I'd like to thank my new subscribers that has joined. You never know what kind of videos might pop up here, from sawmilling to mechanicking. I've got a whole lot of irons in the fire, so I may video a lot of it just to have it for record. But that'll be it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.